over the next couple of days through this week, we are going to be having severe weather and flash flooding events occurring in different areas and portions of the United States over this through week of the beginning bit of August. Stay tuned to hear more about that. Talking about, we're gonna first thing we're gonna be talking about is the severe weather threat, which for today, August 9th, 2026. We have a slight risk of severe weather across areas in and around Chicago. So, for areas around northern Illinois and Indiana, southern Michigan, anywhere within the yellow, we could have a scattered chance of severe weather occurring within any of the yellow. We also do have another area over here in the Dakotas. It's a small bit of yellow anywhere within here for. This will include like areas like Pierre, South Dakota, and also up to Dickinson, North Dakota. We also do have a 5% marginal risk in any of the dark green areas, so possibly just like an isolated chance of severe weather in any of those areas. Biggest risk for today is going to be the wind risk, which we do have a 15% chance, scattered risk across any of the yellow. Specifically for South Dakota and central South Dakota, we also do have a category 1 risk, so could have some areas having 70-mile-per-hour winds, possible even like an 80 or 2 possibly happening, gusts occurring across any area. Across areas in and around Chicago and any of the yellow here, possibly could have some 60, a couple like 1 to 2 70-mile-per-hour wind events within any areas within the yellow. Next risk I will be talking about is the hail threat, which we do have a 15% chance also within here of hail, so scattered risk of hail. We also do have a category 1 risk too within this dotted line area. Areas across the Dakotas will pretty much just be the big portion of this. And then any locations within the brown, either here and around Chicago or just in the Dakotas into Nebraska, just have an isolated chance to have some hail possible within any of these areas that you see right now. Going into the tornado threat, we just have a 2% chance within and around the Chicago area, so we could have an isolated tornado too going on for today with anywhere within the green. Going on tomorrow, August 10th, 2026, we have a slight risk of severe weather for areas across the Midwest into the Mid-Atlantic, anywhere from Illinois to Pennsylvania. Could have a slight risk of severe weather, a scatter risk of severe weather. Biggest risk for this day for tomorrow is going to be our wind risk, which we do have a scattered risk of anywhere within the yellow. Going along with the hail threat, it's just going to be an isolated 5% chance anywhere along here. So could have an isolated hail event or two, but probably at most quarter-sized hail within any of these locations in the brown. Then for the tornado threat, it's going to be a small area anywhere between Illinois through northern Indiana through Ohio into a very western bit of Pennsylvania, anywhere within the green. Could have an isolated tornado too happening within here tomorrow, August 10th. Going on for August 11th, we have a slight chance of severe weather anywhere from Illinois all the way over to the Virginias. Specifically for this day, too, the probabilistic so far is a 15% chance, so likely it's to remain a slight chance of severe weather. It could get upgraded, but if there is a probabilistic of like a 30% chance within here, then that could signal an enhanced risk. But for now, probably most likely we'll be seeing an enhanced a slight chance of severe weather within anywhere of the yellow for August 11, 2026. We'll keep an eye on that as the days go on. And then for August 12th, kind of around the same region around the Virginias, also into some portions of southern Pennsylvania and Maryland. And then also over here, we could have a new development starting over here in the plains again. That could start up again. We don't have a August 13th probabilistic, but if the chances do go up, we could see another system be moving through the plains into the Midwest, possibly towards the end of the week. So we'll be keeping an eye out for severe weather for the next couple of days. And then for the flash flooding chance, or what they call excessive rainfall, but pretty much flooding chance. For today, August 9th, 2026, we have a slight chance of flash flooding within any areas in the yellow. This will include areas like the Chicago metropolitan area, the Detroit metropolitan area, all the way up into Milwaukee, Wisconsin as well. Something that we will begin to notice is that as this system moves eastward into the mid Atlantic, we will start to see monsoon rain appear over here in the southwest. So while monsoon rain is going to be happening, we're going to have to start worrying about flash flooding threat over here for areas in the Midwest into the mid Atlantic starting on August 10th, or if you're watching this on August 9th, tomorrow, through going into the Midwest, into the mid Atlantic, and also the Southwest here for monsoon rain. Going into August 11th, we do see that this does continue. In fact, it pretty much doesn't really move at all, and it's still in the same spot. So, soaking rain is probably going to be the biggest problem, especially for areas within Indiana, Ohio, and West Virginia. And then also, monsoon rain will still be impacting areas in Arizona and possibly New Mexico as well. And then going along on the 12th, August 12th, 2026, we have a slight risk of flash flooding again across areas across southern Ohio, most of West Virginia, besides the panhandles, and central and eastern Kentucky. So, again, that rain, that flooding chance is definitely going to be increased through going through midweek across West Virginia, Ohio, and possibly even eastern Kentucky as well. So we are going to have to be keeping an eye on this. I'm pretty much guaranteed that areas anywhere within Ohio, Western Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and Eastern Kentucky, any portions of those states will certainly be under a flood watch for probably of most of 6 inches of rain could be up to here. Possibly. And speaking of quantitative precipitation, I will be looking at this now. Most likely any areas within the red is a minimum of 2 inches of rain. Any yellow to like gold color is like 3 inches. Gold color could be like up to 4 to even 5 inches. And we can see again this little thread of area swaths of Indiana, Ohio, especially a lot in West Virginia too, could be really a problem for flooding, and especially with areas in West Virginia where there are haulers, where people live in like little valleys and stuff like that. Probably, that's going to be a possibly a catastrophic flooding event that we could be seeing across the state over the next couple of days. Now, don't get me wrong, areas over here in like the Midwest could also have some flooding, but especially areas where people live in the valleys, uh, in the mountain state, could have some flooding problems. I'm also in this neck of the woods for northern West Virginia, so I will definitely be keeping an eye out for sure. As I probably should watch this video, and you should too, over the next couple of days. The thing I'm going to be talking about is the drought threat across portions of the U.S. over the next week or so. So as of right now, we can see that a lot of areas in the West Coast, I am using weather-wise, so it might be there might be a lot of stuff on here, but anywhere within like the red, we're pretty much having severe drought occurring, and this is definitely in place because we haven't seen rainfall in any of these areas for at least a week, if not almost 2 weeks in some areas. Especially where we have the fires going on over here in like the West Coast. Definitely going to still be a problem in a lot of these areas. Probably won't be seeing rain for at least a couple more days, if not up to a week. And as we also do see, also eastward into the Rockies, we also have a lot of drought as well. Some portions of the East Coast, in and around like the Carolinas and Florida, are also under some drought. These we won't really be seeing any fires, but obviously with drought, fires can spark up very easily in areas starting off in the red. And we definitely have been having some exceptional drought within areas across the Rockies, also even some portions of Treasure Valley in Idaho, and also some areas in the mountains of Oregon. We could see any areas in the dark red definitely have been having no rain for at least a minimum of 2 weeks, seeing across the West Coast. Fires will probably most likely be raging across any of these areas, going across the Western Pacific, all the way up into the Canadian province of British Columbia, having those fires. Next thing I will be talking about is the smoke risk with on the ground and also vertically in the atmosphere. As you can see, I'm using the HRRR 18Z model, which shows smoke on the surface and as well as higher in the atmosphere. As you can see, already within today, we have a lot of smoke. Any of the areas within red are levels of smoke of almost 100. Any areas within the pink are around almost 200. And as you can see, moving throughout the next couple of days, areas where there's like a lot of pink are going to be remaining pink for at least a day or a couple days. And we could see that those wildfires, especially in central Washington, you can see where they really start to pick up their smoke at for any of these areas, with smoke levels even going up to 1,000 in some locations within here. And we can even see that like 2,500 is visible on here. And anything above 100 is considered unhealthy for the general public. But we can also see over here, starting off into the East Coast too, and around the Appalachians too, we will have some of that near surface smoke activity as well. Not going to be as bad, but obviously areas within the West Coast are going to be extremely horrible for stuff. We could have 20 times the amount, up to 25, or yeah, 25 times the amount of smoke that should ever be inhaled by a human within these. This is similar particulate matters to like areas to like smog or areas where pollution is really bad. And so we could see similar instances of this with lowered visibility over the next couple of days, probably into the next upcoming weeks. Alright, anyways, that'll be it for this weather update video. It wasn't a full one, it was a partial one because I honestly just feel very tired. I actually did just come back from my grandparents for a 2-week break, and I am really tired. But anyways, that's the best I could do to make this weather video, so if you guys like to see more of these or shorts, make sure you like and subscribe to Huntweather and considering liking or subscribing or even sharing with other people. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.